What truly makes a lifelong, happy, and, profoundly meaningful? Is it really found in that relentless pursuit of like grand ambition or accumulating wealth? Or is it maybe something simpler, sort of hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to discover it in the everyday?
That's a huge question, isn't it? And a really foundational human one. And it's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're looking at a book that, well, promises to unlock some of those secrets. Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Francesc Miralles and Hector Garcia. And this isn't just philosophy, it's wisdom drawn from, real lives.
Absolutely. So our mission today is really to unpack this word ikigai, which might feel a bit mysterious. We want to distill its core ideas, the practical principles, and hopefully some actionable steps. The goal is to help you, our listener, not just understand it in theory, but maybe genuinely start discovering or nurturing your own reason for being, that purpose that really makes life feel worth living.
Right. And the insights we'll be sharing, they come directly from the author's own research, which was pretty extensive and deeply personal. They actually went to the heart of longevity to Okimi, this small rural town in Okinawa, Japan.
Ah, Okinawa.
Exactly. This place isn't just famous, it's almost legendary. It's known as the Village of Longevity. The author spent real time there, living among and interviewing the centenarians, the people who are actually living these long, joyful, purposeful lives. So this isn't theory from some old academic text. It's lived wisdom proven over generations.
That makes such a difference. So as we jump into this deep dive together, we really encourage you to approach it with, an open mind, a curious spirit. Be ready to connect these ideas, these philosophies from Okinawa to your own, maybe quite different modern life. Listen out for those aha moments, those little shifts in perspective that might just infuse a deeper sense of purpose into your everyday. Okay, so let's start by unwrapping this word, ikigai. It sounds fascinating, maybe a bit mysterious if you haven't come across it before. At its core, the book defines it as a reason for being, that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Hmm.
It's also described quite beautifully, I think, as the happiness of always being busy, and maybe even more profoundly, the purpose that gives life meaning. It really seems to capture that idea of inherent passion and direction.
It really does. And if you dig into the Japanese characters, Ikai,
Yeah.
it becomes even richer, hinting at something much deeper, more active. It combines iki, which is simply life, with gai,
Yeah.
meaning to be worthwhile. But the real magic is in breaking down gai. It contains characters that subtly suggest things like armor, number one, even to be the first, implying this intrinsic value in taking initiative and sort of forging your own path, almost like putting on your personal armor to lead the way and making your life feel worthwhile.
Interesting.
And it also carries nuances of beautiful or elegant. So the etymology itself, right from the start, suggests it's not just about finding purpose, but about embodying a deeper, intrinsically rewarding purpose that guides you almost gracefully through life. It's not just what you do, but how it makes your whole existence feel valuable, elegant even.
Wow, that adds a whole other layer. And that sense of worthwhile, it's not passive, is it? It connects right back to those fundamental questions the authors ask early on. What is the meaning of my life? Is the point just to, exist for X number of years, or should I be actively seeking a higher purpose? Why do some people just seem to know what they want, have this passion, while others feel kind of lost, confused? It's a reminder that Ikigai isn't just about living longer, but living with real passion, with meaning, filling that gap many feel.
Exactly. And that profound question is precisely where the Okinawa connection becomes so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Okinawa, as many people know, is a famous blue zone, one of those rare places on Earth where people live significantly longer, healthier, and it seems happier lives than the global average.
Right, the stats are pretty amazing.
They really are. There's something like 24.55 people over 100 years old for every 100,000 inhabitants. That's a remarkable concentration of centenarians, far, far higher than you'd find almost anywhere else.
It really makes you wonder, what is it about Okinawa? What's their secret? You know, Initially you might guess it's just the healthy diet, the simple outdoor life, maybe all the green tea they drink, or that lovely subtropical climate. Apparently it's quite similar to Hawaii's temperature.
Those are the usual suspects.
Exactly. But the authors, through their research, they discovered that while all those things definitely play a part, Ikigai seemed to emerge as the core unifying secret. It's like the central thread, the golden string running through their lives, giving meaning and vibrancy to all those other healthy habits.
And within Okinawa, the authors specifically focused on Ogimi. It's a small rural town on the northern end of the island. This place actually boasts the highest life expectancy in the world. Yeah, it's nicknamed the Village of Longevity. The authors describe arriving there and just sensing this uncommon joy radiating from the people. They quickly realize this pervasive happiness seemed directly guided by this deep, intrinsic sense of Ikigai. It's not just about avoiding sickness or living longer. It's about this unwavering zest for life that goes beyond just physical existence.
So it really brings us to the central, compelling question for you, the listener, to think about. Could Ikigai truly be the fundamental reason for their extraordinary health and happiness? Could this deep sense of purpose be the actual engine driving their vitality, keeping them active, engaged, and joyful right to the end? The authors definitely suggest it's a huge piece of the puzzle, maybe the biggest piece.
Yeah, and to help us grasp Ikigai in a more sort of concrete, applicable way, the book introduces that famous Venn diagram. It's made up of 4 interconnected overlapping circles. Each one represents a really crucial aspect of a fulfilling life.
Okay, I think I've seen this diagram.
You probably have. It's quite well known now.
Mhm.
So the first circle is simply what you love, your deepest interests, your passions, the things that bring you joy. The second is what you are good at, your unique talents, your skills, your areas of expertise.
Right.
The third circle is what the world needs. This speaks to your mission, how your actions contribute to the greater good, how you make a positive impact. And the fourth, finally, is what you can be paid for, your profession, your livelihood, how you sustain yourself financially.
And the really fascinating part is how these circles overlap, right? Where what you love meets what you're good at, that's your pure passion.
Exactly.
When what you're good at combines with what you can be paid for, that's often your vocation or your career, then what you can be paid for intersecting with what the world needs, that forms your profession in a broader sense, how you contribute value for money. And finally, what the world needs plus what you love, that gives you your mission. But the real magic, the true Ikigai, that kind of elusive sweet spot, lies right in the center, where all 4 of those elements align and resonate together. It's where your joy, your skills, your contribution, and your livelihood all converge beautifully. It's that ultimate alignment.
And what's really compelling, I think, is the book's emphasis that finding your Ikigai isn't necessarily about this single, huge, life-altering purpose that means you have to, quit your job and change everything overnight.
Right, that can feel daunting.
Totally. It can often be found in smaller daily activities, contributions, habits that bring you consistent joy and a sense of meaning. This makes the whole concept feel much more flexible and accessible. Anyone can apply it, regardless of where they are in life right now. It's about finding that worth and purpose in the seemingly ordinary bits of your everyday.
That's such a relief, actually, because it raises that question. Does finding your Ikigai mean you have to quit your job, move to an island, live this radically different life, which actually leads perfectly into one of the book's most surprising ideas. Whatever you do, don't retire.
That's right. It was one of the most striking things the authors noticed in Japan, especially Okinawa. How incredibly active people stay long after what we'd consider the traditional retirement age in the West. Many Japanese people, they argue, never truly retire in our sense of just completely stopping work for good.
Is there even a word for it?
Well, they say there isn't a direct Japanese word that carries that same meaning of permanently ceasing all productive activity. Their whole concept of later life is just different.
That's a huge cultural difference. Dan Buettner, the National Geographic guy who studied all the blue zones.
Yeah, he's done great work.
He points out that having a purpose is so vital, so ingrained in Japanese culture that the idea of a permanent inactive retirement just doesn't really compute for them. They simply keep doing what they love, what gives them purpose, what keeps them engaged, for as long as they physically can. It's seen as a continuous contribution, not an endpoint.
Exactly. It powerfully shows how having that clearly defined Ikigai brings this deep satisfaction, this ongoing happiness and meaning. This purpose isn't something you just clock out of at 65. It inspires people to stay active, mentally stimulated, socially connected, pursuing what they love for as long as their health allows, as the book says. They don't see work or activity as something to escape, but as a continuous path to fulfillment.
So instead of seeing retirement as just stopping, The book really encourages you, the listener, to think about how embracing an active, purposeful life, even if it looks different from a traditional career, can lead to greater longevity and a much deeper sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
It's about shifting from stopping to continuing, maybe with a renewed sense of purpose.
Building on that idea of not retiring, if we look at the wider Blue Zone's wisdom beyond just Ikigai itself, we see these shared secrets emerging across all these regions of incredible longevity. Besides Okinawa, there's Sardinia in Italy, Loma Linda in California, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, Icaria in Greece.
Right, they're all so different geographically and culturally.
Exactly. But they share so many common, almost deceptively simple, practical habits. Across the board, you see diets with very little meat or processed food. They might drink alcohol, but usually in moderation, often with meals or socially. There's this huge emphasis on daily, low-intensity movement, walking, gardening. They walk rather than drive whenever possible.
And stress management.
Crucial. They seem to manage time to reduce stress, and they cultivate these incredibly strong social bonds, family and friends, acting as powerful support systems. It really feels like all these little consistent habits, when you combine them with purpose and community, they just add up to this extraordinary long life.
One of the most common and maybe most famous Okinawan practices related to diet is Hara Hachibu.
Ah, yes, Hara Hachibu. It's this ancient Confucian saying they adopted, and it simply means fill your belly to 80%. The core idea is so simple but so effective. Stop eating when you're starting to feel full, not when you're completely stuffed.
The practical benefits seem huge. You avoid wearing down your body with long digestive processes, right? And it helps slow down cellular oxidation.
Precisely. It's like giving your body's engine a little break after every meal. Instead of constantly overloading your digestive system, you allow your cells to focus on repair and maintenance. And the numbers are striking. Okinawans average around 1,800 to 1,900 calories a day, with a really healthy BMI between 18 and 22. Compare that to the U.S., where it's often 2,200, 3,300 calories, and BMIs are much higher, like 26, 27. It's a massive difference in intake, leading to huge long-term health differences.
And the way they serve food helps, doesn't it? Lots of small plates.
Absolutely. It naturally encourages the practice. You feel like you're eating a lot because there may be 5 or 6 different colorful dishes, but the portions are small. You often end up feeling satisfied but still slightly hungry. It makes practicing Hara Hachiba much easier, less like being on a strict diet.
So, for you, listening, how can you integrate this? It could be simple things. Consciously skipping desserts sometimes, reducing portion sizes just slightly, maybe using a smaller plate for your main meal. The key is just becoming more mindful of your body's signals and stopping before you're totally full. That small shift, done consistently, can make a massive difference.
And scientifically, the evidence is really growing for calorie restriction without malnutrition, of course, extending lifespan. It seems to work partly by reducing levels of IGF-1, that insulin-like growth factor 1.
Right, you mentioned that. It's like a growth accelerator for cells.
Kind of. Great when you're young, but too much later in life can push cells to grow too fast, accelerating aging. So this mindful eating protects against obesity, type 2 diabetes, inflammation, high blood pressure, heart disease, even certain cancers. And alternatives like intermittent fasting, say, the 5.2 diet where you fast 2 days a week, seem to offer similar benefits by giving your digestive system that crucial rest and repair time.
Fascinating. Okay, beyond diet, another cornerstone of Okinawan longevity, and really across all blue zones, is this concept of Moai.
Yes, the Moai. It's so much more than just a social club. It's an informal, really tight-knit group of people with common interests who genuinely commit to looking out for each other. They originated centuries ago, apparently, in tough times, when farmers would share tips and help each other cope with bad harvests. So it's rooted in this deep tradition of mutual support.
And how do they function today in Ogimi?
There's still vital social and financial support systems. Members usually contribute a set amount each month, used for group activities, meetings, dinners, games. If there's a surplus, one member gets a payout on rotation. And crucially, if someone faces financial hardship, like illness, they can get an advance from the group savings.
Wow, that's incredible. That feeling of belonging, that mutual support must have a huge impact.
Absolutely. Think about the reduction in chronic stress, knowing that if life throws you a curveball illness, financial trouble, you have a group that will genuinely pool resources to help. That deep trust acts like a constant emotional and financial buffer, directly leading to less physiological wear and tear and ultimately a longer, healthier life.
It really highlights that strong social ties aren't just nice extras. They're essential for a long, fulfilling life. So for you listening, think about your own community. Where do you find your Moai, or how could you cultivate one? Maybe it's a book club, a walking group, volunteers, or just close friends you intentionally check in with. It's about building those real reciprocal bonds.
Another absolutely key finding, especially from Okinawa, is the power of gentle, consistent movement. The people who live longest aren't necessarily doing intense exercise for hours, but they move the most in their daily lives. Okinawans walk a lot, they garden for hours, they do karaoke, they play gate ball. Being sedentary just isn't really in their culture.
Yeah, it definitely challenges our modern idea of working out being this separate, intense thing. I remember you mentioning Gavin Bradley's point about metabolism slowing down massively after just 30 minutes of sitting.
Right, metabolism slows down 90%. Just getting up for 5 minutes is going to get things going again. His point is our sedentary Western life is a huge problem, linked to hypertension, obesity, reduced fitness, even that telomere distortion we talked about, the fraying ends of our DNA, accelerating aging.
So what's the actionable advice here for people living more static lives?
The book offers great practical tips. Walk to work if you can, or walk for at least 20 minutes daily. Always take the stairs. Participate in social activities that get you moving, reducing screen time. Replace junk food snacks with fruit. Get enough sleep. 7-9 hours is key. Too much makes you lethargic. Play with kids or pets. Join a sports team. Importantly, just become conscious of your daily routine to spot those sedentary habits and replace them bit by bit with active ones.
It really boils down to integrating more natural, consistent movement into our lives, doesn't it? Not just hitting the gym hard once in a while.
Exactly. And beyond the physical, the book stresses that mind-body connection, mens sana in corpore sano, a sound mind and a sound body. Keeping your mind active, adaptable, curious is a key factor in staying young, both mentally and physically. A youthful mind drives a healthy lifestyle, which in turn reinforces mental agility.
And just like physical inactivity harms the body, a lack of mental exercise weakens our neurons, right? So we need to give our brains a workout too. You mentioned Shlomo Brezhnitz.
Yes, the Israeli neuroscientist. He argues the brain needs constant stimulation. He points out that tension between what's good for us and what we want to do, because our brains love ingrained habits they stop thinking. But new information, new challenges create new connections, revitalizing the brain. So it's crucial to expose yourself to change, even if it feels a bit uncomfortable or causes mild anxiety.
It's like exercising a muscle.
Precisely. Intellectual activity, curiosity, a desire to learn these actively slow neuronal aging, which actually starts in our 20s, dealing with new situations, learning something daily, playing games, interacting with people. These are essential anti-aging strategies for the mind. And maintaining a positive outlook reinforces all of this.
It's amazing how much power our mindset and mental engagement have over our physical aging. They're completely intertwined.
Now, one of the biggest modern threats to longevity, especially in the West, is chronic, intense stress. Research consistently shows the body wears down faster under prolonged stress. The American Institute of Stress estimated that maybe 75 to 90% of health problems are stress-induced.
That's staggering.
It is. Studies show stress activates immune responses that can damage healthy cells, prematurely aging them. It also weakens those telomeres, affecting cell regeneration and aging. The more prolonged the stress, the worse the effect.
And modern stress is different from, say, cave dweller stress, isn't it? We're constantly getting these low doses of stress hormones.
Exactly. Cave dwellers had acute stress, fight or flight, then relaxation. We often have this constant low-level hum of stress, from phone notifications, emails, news. Our brains perceive these as threats, releasing cortisol and adrenaline constantly. This sustained state affects memory, inhibits mood-regulating hormones, and leads to irritability, insomnia, anxiety, high blood pressure.
So while a bit of challenge is good, our high-stress, always-on lifestyle is clearly harmful. What's the antidote the book suggests? Mindfulness.
Yes, mindfulness is key. Focusing on yourself, noticing your conditioned responses, connecting with the here and now to stop those anxious thought spirals. Roberto Alcibar put it well. We have to learn to turn off the autopilot.
That autopilot is strong, like snacking while on the phone and not even registering what you ate.
Exactly. Mindfulness brings you back to the present. Methods include meditation, breathing exercises, yoga, body scans. It's a training process, not instant, but even a little practice reduces stress and helps you live longer. It's like having a spa inside you. You just need to learn how to access it.
But there's nuance, right? A little stress can be good.
Definitely. Dr. Howard Friedman's study showed people with low stress levels who face challenges and love their work live longer than those with super relaxed lifestyles. A manageable dose of stress, especially linked to purpose, is positive. It keeps us sharp. That's why many super-centenarians report having lived intense, hardworking lives. It's about managing stress, engaging with it constructively, not just avoiding it completely.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about flow. That incredible state where you get so lost in an activity that time just disappears. Like maybe you're skiing, just perfectly in the moment, totally focused. No future, no past, just the snow, your skis, your body moving as one. It's like that Bruce Lee idea. Be water, my friend, just adapting, flowing.
We've all had that feeling, haven't we? Hours just vanish. You start cooking, look up, and it's 3 hours later, you get absorbed in a book, and suddenly it's dark outside. Or the opposite, when you dread something and every minute drags. What is it that makes us enjoy something so intensely we forget everything else? That's really the core of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's research on flow. He called it the pleasure, delight, creativity, and process when we are completely immersed in life. It's that optimal experience state.
He defined flow as the state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience itself is so enjoyable that people will do it even at great cost for the sheer sake of doing it.
And the book links this directly to happiness and living your Ikigai, right? The idea is to consciously spend more time in flow rather than chasing fleeting pleasures. Exactly. And what's fascinating is that flow is universal.
Yeah.
A chess grandmaster feels it. A mathematician solving a complex problem feels it. A surgeon in the zone feels it. Your mind becomes incredibly in order, focused on a concrete task, no distractions, unlike those times when your thoughts are all over the place.
So how do we get there? Owen Schaefer outlines 7 conditions for achieving flow, didn't he?
Yes, they provide a really helpful roadmap. 1, you need to know what to do, have clear objectives. 2, you need to know how to do it, possess the necessary skills. 3, you need to know how well you're doing, get immediate feedback. 4, you need to know where to go, have a sense of direction or progression. 5, you need to perceive significant challenges, and it has to be engaging, not boring. 6, you need to perceive significant skills, you have to feel capable, not anxious. 7, and crucially, you need to be free from distractions, allowing deep concentration.
Okay, that's where it gets really practical. A roadmap to finding flow.
So the first strategy is about finding that sweet spot. Choosing a task that's difficult but not too difficult. If it's too easy, you get bored, apathy sets in. If it's way too hard, you get frustrated and anxious and you give up. The ideal is that middle ground, aligned with your abilities but stretching you just a bit. A meaningful challenge. Like Hemingway saying, "Sometimes I write better than I can."
Right. So for you listening, maybe it's a designer learning new software, a programmer trying a new language, a dancer working on a tough move, even reading a book that challenges you but doesn't completely overwhelm you. It's about adding that little something extra that pushes you out of your comfort zone, moving you from boredom or anxiety into that flow state.
The second strategy, have a clear, concrete objective. Think video games or sports. The objectives are always clear, making flow easier. This is often missing in daily life or work. Remember that Boston Consulting Group finding. Employees' biggest complaint was unclear team missions. Joy Ito from MIT Media Lab talks about needing a compass over maps in our unpredictable world. A clear objective compass is better than a rigid plan map. It lets you adapt while staying on course.
So for you, it means asking, what's my objective for this work session? How many words will I write? What's the team mission this week? But here's the tricky part, right? Once you start, you need to keep the objective in mind, but not obsess over it.
Exactly. Like Olympic athletes focusing on the performance, not the medal. Writer's block often comes from obsessing over the finished product, not the process. Anxiety about the outcome kills flow.
But as soon as you take those first steps, the anxiety often disappears, and you find that pleasant flow. Like Einstein said, a happy man is too satisfied with the present to dwell on the future. Focus on the doing.
Absolutely. Now, the third strategy, and maybe the biggest hurdle today, concentrate on a single task. We live in this world of constant digital distraction. You're writing email, a notification pops up, your phone buzzes, you check social media. 30 minutes later, you've forgotten what you were doing.
Been there. Science shows multitasking is really inefficient, right? Our brains just switch tasks rapidly, wasting energy, increasing errors, hurting memory.
Totally. Clifford Nass at Stanford called it a multitasking epidemic. His study showed multitaskers are more easily distracted by irrelevant things. The impact is huge. Productivity drops by 60% or more. IQ can temporarily drop over 10 points, like losing a night's sleep. Plus, less sleep, weaker social ties, more depression signs, and young adults glued to smartphones.
Ouch. Okay, so what can we do? How do we fight this and train our brains to focus?
The book gives tons of practical tips. Digital boundaries. No screens first hour awake, last hour before sleep, silence interruptions, turn off phone or use do not disturb during focused work. Digital detox. Try a tech fasting day, even just for a few hours weekly. Change environment. Work somewhere without Wi-Fi sometimes. Batch communications. Check email only once or twice a day. Time management. Use Pomodoro 255 or 50-10 min cycles. Rituals. Start work with a ritual. End with a reward. Mindfulness. Train your mind to return to the present. Meditation. Walks. Dedicated workspace. Create a distraction-free zone. Batch similar tasks. Bundle routine tasks together.
That's a great toolkit. Now, how does this idea of flow manifest in Japan specifically? You mentioned Gembaru perseverance.
Yes, that capacity for intense absorption is really deep in the culture. You see it in meticulous rice farmers, dedicated shop workers, and especially traditional craftspeople, the takumi.
The takumi, artisans with incredible manual skills, like those at Toyota making screws by hand, or the last people making turntable needles.
Exactly. The book tells this amazing story about a Kumano makeup brush takumi. She was so focused, choosing individual bristles, masked to avoid disturbing them, her hands moving like a dance. She didn't even notice the authors enter. The company president said she was vital because every bristle passed through her hands. It's that deep dedication to quality.
Wow. And Steve Jobs was fascinated by this, wasn't he? Japanese simplicity, quality, the takumi.
Absolutely. He was devoted to a porcelain tatumi, Yukio Shakunaga. He collected his work, visited him, commissioned pieces, admiring the process and quality. Jobs drew constant inspiration from Japanese artisans, engineers like at Sony, Zen philosophy, even sushi. He understood that deep, singular focus, that sophisticated simplicity.
And Jiro from Jiro Dreams of Sushi is another perfect example. 80-plus years making sushi daily, going to the market. His apprentice is struggling for years just to master the omelet.
Because making the best sushi is their Ikigai too. They're in flow, enjoying the work, prioritizing quality and working conditions over expansion or fame.
And this connects to Shintoism, the idea of objects having a spirit, a kami.
Right. The artisan strives to give nature life while respecting it, becoming one with the object. It's about uniting nature and technology, not setting them against each other. Think of Hayao Miyazaki at Studio Ghibli. His films explore humans, kek, nature. He's so immersed in his craft, hand-drawing everything, working holidays, refusing to truly retire because drawing is his ikigai. Can you really retire from your passion? The book argues no.
But what about the boring stuff? Laundry, paperwork, can we find flow there? This is where microflow comes in.
Exactly. Think of that Tokyo elevator operator, same job since 2004, always smiling, performing this whole sequence of movements like a ritual, almost like a geisha offering tea.
So microflow is adding complexity or ritual to routine tasks.
Precisely. Doodling in a boring meeting, whistling while painting. Bill Gates apparently enjoys washing dishes every night, trying to do it a little better each day, following an established order. Richard Feynman painted office walls when he wasn't doing real physics. It's about finding engagement in the mundane.
That's a crucial insight. Our ability to turn routine tasks into moments of microflow, something enjoyable, is key to happiness because we all have to do them.
And we can also create instant vacations through things like meditation and rituals. Meditation trains the mind to find flow more quickly, just sitting, focusing on breath, observing thoughts without judgment.
Like that Olympic archer who meditated 2 hours daily, it's an antidote to smartphone distraction too.
Definitely. And you don't need absolute silence or instant nirvana. Just focusing on the journey, slowing the mind's centrifuge briefly, brings rest and clarity. It generates those relaxing alpha and theta brainwaves. We all carry this internal spa. We just need to learn how to access it.
And rituals. Humans are ritualistic beings, but we've kind of lost that in our goal-driven lives.
Right. Historically, daily activities were rituals. In Japan, religions often prioritize rituals over absolute rules, influencing even business process and manners matter more than just the result.
So rituals provide clear rules and objectives, breaking down big goals, making flow easier.
Exactly. Confronted with a big goal, break it down, attack each part. Focus on enjoying daily rituals as tools for flow. Don't obsess over the outcome. Happiness is in the doing. Remember, rituals over goals.
Okay, so how do we use flow to actually find our ikigai? The book suggests self-reflection.
Yes, asking yourself, what activities make you flow? What do they have in common? Why do they work for you, alone or with others, body or mind?
And experimentation. If you love photography, try painting. If you love snowboarding, try surfing.
Precisely. Be curious. Flow is mysterious, but it's like a muscle. The more you train it, the more you'll flow, and the closer you'll get to your ikigai. When the authors started this work, they didn't just want stats. They wanted to hear from the true masters of living long and happily. They focused on Super-Centenarians, people living to 110 or more. They're incredibly rare, maybe 300, 450 worldwide, only about 75 confirmed. But they're inspirations.
And their wisdom is often so direct, simple, even humorous, right? Like Mizuo Kawa lived to 117 in Japan. Her advice:
Eat and sleep, and you'll live a long time. You have to learn to relax. Simple. But the authors noted her tremendous thirst for life, her optimism.
And Maria Capovilla from Ecuador, 116.
She said, I've never eaten meat in my life. She was vibrant, dancing, making crafts at 107. Jean Calment from France, the oldest ever at 122. She rode a bike till 100, lived alone till 110, quit smoking at 120 because she couldn't see well enough to light up. Her motto was, everything's fine.
Amazing. Walter Brunning, the American, 114.
He insisted, if you keep your mind and body busy, you'll be around a long time. Worked 50 years on the railroad, ate 2 meals a day, helped others, wasn't afraid of dying. And Alexander Imich, 111, the chemist, he just said, I just haven't died yet. Very humble, never drank alcohol. He shows it's not always about grand achievements. And this secret isn't just for super-centenarians. Many artists exemplify Ikigai, pursuing their passion until their last breath instead of retiring. Art, in all its forms, can be an Ikigai, bringing happiness and purpose.
Like Hokusai, the Japanese artist, lived to 88. At 73, he said his earlier work didn't count, hoping to truly understand things by 90, and at 110, all that I do shall be instinct with life. His Ikigai just grew stronger.
Right. Or Christopher Plummer wanting to drop it dead on stage. Osamu Tezuka, the manga creator, his last words were, please just let me work. Frederick Wiseman, the filmmaker, saying his friends are either dead or are still working.
Carmen Herrera, the painter, sold her first canvas at 89, still working at 100, saying, I am always waiting to finish the next thing. Edward O. Wilson felt he only had enough experience for big questions later in life. Ellsworth Kelly said getting older brought more clarity. Every day I'm continuing to see new things. And Frank Gehry, the architect, staying curious, staying in your time.
The common thread, from centenarians to artists, is this link between longevity, culture, community, and staying active because of Ikigai, that purpose driving them to create things of beauty and utility for the community and yourself.
So let's go back to Ogimi itself, the village of longevity. The authors describe time seeming to stop there, living in an endless here and now.
Communal life there is incredibly vibrant. The Moai function like extended family with this deep sense of yumaru, teamwork. Volunteer work drives much of the community, ensuring everyone feels useful, part of things. The town's divided into 17 neighborhoods, each with roles for culture, festivals, social life, even longevity. It's structured for connection.
And the celebrations sound amazing. Birthday parties where the youngest is 83, everyone singing and dancing, playing gate ball, even losing to a 104-year-old.
Yeah, gate ball is huge there. A low-impact sport, great excuse to move and have fun together. Karaoke, traditional festivals. Celebration is woven into daily life, not just special occasions.
And spirituality plays a role, too. Ryukyu Shinto.
Yes, it's this blend of Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Shinto, plus shamanism and animism. Reverence for nature spirits, kami, sacred grounds utaki, ancestor worship, butsudan. Uniquely, women, yuta, are often seen as spiritually superior, acting as mediums, and the concept of mabui, or immortal essence or life force, highlights that deep connection to spirit.
And that declaration from the town where people live longest, at 80, I'm still a child, the older the stronger. It's a manifesto.
It really is. From their 100 interviews, the authors distilled 5 key principles for us.
Don't worry, seriously. The secret is not to worry. And keep your heart young. Open your heart to people with a nice smile. Best way to avoid anxiety is go out and say hello. Active, not passive.
2, cultivate good habits, daily routines. I feel joy waking at 6. Look out at my garden where I grow my own vegetables. That's my Ikigai. Keeping fingers busy helps the brain. Working. If you don't work, your body breaks down. Stay active.
3, nurture your friendships every day. Consistent connection. Getting together with my friends is my most important Ikigai. Talking each day with the people you love, that's the secret. Chatting and drinking tea with my neighbors, that's the best thing. And singing together.
4, live an unhurried life. A huge contrast to our world. My secret, always saying, slow down and relax. Not being idle, but doing many things, one at a time, without getting overwhelmed. Enjoying the process, the present, each season.
And 5, be optimistic. It's infectious. Every day I say, today will be full of health and energy. Live it to the fullest. Laugh. Laughter is the most important thing. I'm 98, but consider myself young. I still have so much to do. And simply, the most important thing is to keep smiling. It's an active choice.
So the keys to the Ogimi lifestyle: universal gardening, strong Moai, neighborhood groups, constant celebration, music, dance, a clear Ikigai but relaxed about it, pride in traditions, passion for small tasks, yumaru, teamwork, and always being busy but with relaxing, flow-inducing tasks. No one's just sitting idly, they're engaged.
Okay, moving from lifestyle to diet specifically. Japan has the world's highest life expectancy, 85 for men, 87.3 for women. Over 520 centenarians per million people back in 2016. And Okinawa beats even that national average. It's truly remarkable.
It really is. So what are the specific dietary secrets that make Okinawa stand out, even within Japan? You mentioned Okinawa is the only province without trains, so more walking. And they stick to that low salt recommendation, less than 10 grams a day.
Right, those factors contribute. But Dr. Makoto Suzuki's research in the Okinawa program gives us really concrete data. His key conclusions are invaluable. First, variety is absolutely key. Locals eat a huge range of foods. Centenarians regularly ate 206 different foods, including spices. Average of 18 different foods each day. Think eating the rainbow. Huge contrast to monotonous Western diets.
Second, fruits and vegetables are staples. At least 5 servings daily, with at least 7 types. Over 30% of their calories come from veggies, potatoes, legumes, and soy like tofu. Third, grains are foundational: Japanese white rice daily, sometimes noodles. Fourth, minimal sugar, about a third less than the rest of Japan, often unprocessed cane sugar, if any.
Fifth, minimal salt, about half as much as mainland Japan, just 7 grams a day versus 12 ju. And finally, their overall caloric intake is lower, around 1,785 calories daily versus 2,068 elsewhere in Japan. This lower intake is common across all 5 blue zones, strongly suggesting a link to longevity.
So how does this rich, varied, mindful diet translate into things we can adopt?
It brings us right back to Hara Hachi, but the 80% rule. It's a daily practice. Stop eating when you're starting to feel full, not totally stuffed. Listen to your body.
And actionable tactics: skip dessert sometimes, reduce portion sizes slightly, use smaller plates to make meals look abundant while eating less, which also helps with variety.
Exactly. And scientifically, eating fewer calories without malnutrition boosts longevity. It reduces the body's energy spent on digestion and lowers IGF-1 levels, that protein linked to accelerated aging. It protects against obesity, type 2 diabetes, inflammation, hypertension, heart disease. And alternatives like 5.2 fasting offer similar benefits by giving the digestive system a rest.
In quality matters too. The book lists 15 key Okinawan foods packed with antioxidants, right? Those molecules that fight free radicals and slow aging.
Yes, absolutely vital for their vitality, consumed almost daily. Tofu, miso, tuna, carrots, goya, bittermelon, kombu, sea kelp, cabbage, nori, seaweed, onion, soy sprouts, hechima gourd, soybeans, sweet potato peppers, and sanpencha jasmine tea.
And it's amazing how they integrate these naturally, not like a strict diet.
It's just their way of eating, delicious and medicinal.
Speaking of sanpencha, that jasmine and green tea mix they drink daily.
Yes, average 3 cups a day. Benefits go beyond green tea's antioxidants. Reduces cholesterol, heart attack risk, boosts an immune system, relieves stress.
And if we can't find sanpencha, good quality jasmine, green or white tea works.
Definitely. Green tea's benefits are well-known: cholesterol, blood sugar, circulation, flu protection, bone health, antibacterial, UV protection, cleansing. And white tea has maybe the highest antioxidant power. 1 cup, like a dozen glasses of orange juice.
Wow. And the powerful shikawasa fruit, Okinawa's unique citrus.
Right. Ogimi is the biggest producer. Tastes like lime meets mandarin, very acidic. Its big secret is high levels of nobiletin, a flavonoid rich in antioxidants.
How much more than oranges?
40 times more nobiletin. It's proven to protect against arteriosclerosis, cancer, type 2 diabetes, obesity. Plus, it's rich in vitamin C, B1, beta-carotene, minerals. They use it in dishes and juice.
Okay, so pulling this together for us Westerners, the book gives an antioxidant canon.
Veggies, broccoli, chard, oily fish, salmon, tuna, fruits, citrus, berries, apricots, dried fruits, whole grains, oats, wheat, olive oil, red wine, moderation.
Refined sugar grains, processed baked goods, prepared foods, cow's milk products. Following this helps you feel younger and slows premature aging.
Okay, moving on to movement. We keep coming back to this blue zones finding. The longest living people aren't necessarily doing the most intense exercise, but they move the most consistently. In Ogimi, even people in their 80s and 90s are highly active, walking, gardening, karaoke. Movement is just part of life.
It really shifts our focus from working out as this separate, intense thing. Remember Gavin Bradley's quote about sitting? Metabolism slows 90%. Just getting up for 5 minutes gets things going again. So for those of us in cities where movement isn't automatic, turning to Eastern disciplines can help.
Exactly. Practices like yoga from India, Tai Chi, and Qigong from China are popular for a reason. They've been used for millennia to balance body, mind, soul, fostering strength, joy, serenity. They really are elixirs of youth. Science backs this up, especially for older people. They help with osteoporosis, Parkinson's, circulation, muscle tone, flexibility, stress, depression.
And they have well-defined steps, which helps with getting into flow, as we discussed. The key is finding one you love that makes you move.
A unique Japanese practice is radio taiso. This morning warm-up started before WWII, originally on radio, now often TV or internet. A key purpose is unity. It's almost always done in groups, schools, businesses.
And it's huge in Japan. 30% practice daily.
Mm.
And nearly all the Centenarians did it, even from wheelchairs.
Yes. It's just 5–10 minutes, dynamic stretching, increasing joint mobility. That iconic movement, raising arms high, bringing them down circularly, is so important because we rarely do that full range of motion now. It wakes up the body, a low-intensity mobility workout covering basic movements.
And yoga, obviously huge globally, originating in India, meaning yoke, uniting mind and body.
Right. Aiming for harmony with the world, mental physical purification, connecting to the divine. Many styles, jnana, karma, bhakti, etc., but hatha is most widespread in the West and Japan.
The sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, is a classic example, right? That 12-step flow.
It is. Starting standing, palms together. Inhale, arms up, exhale, fold forward, lunge one leg back, then the other to plank. Lower chest, chin, cobra pose, straighten arms, arch back, downward dog, hips up, V shape. Lunge, first leg forward, then the other. Rise up, arms overhead, slight back bend, return to start. It's a dynamic way to greet the day, energize everything.
Then there's Tai Chi, Tai Chi Chuan, Chinese martial art, roots in Buddhism, Confucianism.
Yes, popularized by Yang Luqian. Originally an internal martial art, Naijia, for personal growth and self-defense, using minimal force, relying on agility.
But now it's more universal for health and inner peace, promoted even by the Chinese government.
Exactly. Common objectives across styles, Chen, Yang, Wu, Hao, include controlling movement through stillness, overcoming force with finesse, moving second but arriving first, knowing yourself and your opponent, internal or external.
And Master Yang Chengfu's 10 basic principles, like elevate the crown, relax your waist, differentiate heaviness, lightness, value mind over strength, unify internal, external, maintain fluidity, look for stillness and movement.
Those capture the essence beautifully, mindfulness and balance in motion. A well-known movement is wave hands like clouds. Arms extend, turn palms inward, hugging a tree. Open arms slowly, one hand up, one down, tracing a ball. Shift weight, pivot, follow hand with eyes. Repeat fluidly, harmoniously. It's a moving meditation.
Finally, Qigong, working with life force.
Yes, Qi, life force, plus Gong, work. Based on ancient Taoyuan, static and dynamic exercises stimulating respiration, done standing, seated, or reclined. Gentle movements, but intense internal practice.
And the scientific benefits are significant. Dr. Sancier's research.
Huge benefits. Modified brainwaves, better hormone balance, lower heart attack mortality, lower blood pressure, greater bone density, better circulation, slow senility symptoms, better balance efficiency, increased brain blood flow, improved cardiac function, reduced cancer treatment side effects. These arts really help extend life and improve its quality.
So how do we regulate our own life energy with Qigong? There are 5 methods.
Right, regulating different aspects. 1, Tio Shen, body, correct posture, rootedness. 2, Tio Shi, breath, calm, steady, peaceful breathing. 3, Tio Shin, mind, emptying the mind of thoughts, the hardest part. 4, Tio Shi, life force, allowing Qi to flow naturally once body, breath, mind are regulated. 5, Tio Shen, spirit, cultivating inner strength, resilience.
And the 5 elements of Qigong movements: earth, water, wood, metal, fire. Each balances different energies.
Exactly. Earth is rooted, arms raising, lowering. Water is fluid, squats, rises. Wood is arms circling, palms up, growth. Metal is hands moving apart together at sternum, clarity. Fire is rotating from heart, separating, joining hands, transformation. It's a series to balance energy, improve brain organ function.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Ikigai, let's quickly recap the main takeaways for a long, happy, purposeful life. We started with finding your reason for being using that Venn diagram where love, skill, world's need, and payment all meet.
Then we saw how vital it is to integrate those Okinawan practices. Hara Hachi for mindful eating, the amazing community support of the Moai buffering stress, and cultivating flow in everything you do, finding absorption and joy in the present, even in mundane tasks.
We learned so much from the simple wisdom of centenarians and those passionate Ikigai artists who never truly retire from what they love. And finally, embracing gentle Eastern movements like Radio Taiso, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong keeps us agile, sharp, and balanced.
And remember, finding and living your Ikigai isn't this one big destination you arrive at. It's a continuous path refining, adapting, finding joy in the everyday. Like the Ogimi centenarians showed us, the secret is often simple. Live vibrantly, keep moving, keep connecting, and keep smiling.
So the final thought for you listening, what small intentional shift can you make today to start or deepen your own journey toward Ikigai, that quiet, deep happiness of always being busy with purpose? We really encourage you to reflect on these ideas. And if you want to explore more, definitely pick up the book Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. It's a truly inspiring read.